Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I'm Will Leggetter.
And today we have a special guest. Oh, okay. No, go for it. 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 Go for it.
I'm Ava Robinson.
Oh, very good. And yes, we have a new guest. We have Ava Robinson. And it's a toss-up between you both on who gets to introduce the film. Because Will has the advantage of it being his number one, but Ava has the advantage of new guest.
Oh, I feel like it should go to Will because a number one, have it as your number one. That's a pretty big thing. So I relate.
I agree.
So take it away,
right.
Will.
Let's do it. Well, Back to the Future.
Steven Spielberg presents Back to the Future, a Robert Zemeckis film. Marty leads an ordinary life.
No McFly ever amounted to anything in the history of Hill Valley.
Yeah, well, history is going to change.
And 1985 is not his year.
My favourite film of all time. It came out in the cinemas in 1985, directed by Robert Zemeckis, produced by Steven. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie.
Steven who? Are you good friends with him?
I call him Steve.
Yeah, Steven.
Steven on the radio. But no, it's just a wonderful film. It's got great rewatchability. It's got great nostalgia. I wish I lived in the 80s. We'll have this conversation later. If you could use the DeLorean to go anywhere, I'd go back to 1985. And then go back to 1955 with Michael J. Fox.
So you're doing if I had a wish, I'd ask for more wishes.
I'm surprised you haven't said you'd go back to the set of Caddyshack, just hang out with...
I would like to go back to the set of Caddyshack. That would be good. I'm not a big cocaine guy. Well, no, I'm a drinker. I know Rodney used to do the coke.
You're Rodney.
This hat looks good. You buy a hat like that, you get a free bowl of soup.
I think this place is restricted, Wang, so don't tell me you're Jewish. Okay, fine. Oh, this is the worst looking hat I ever saw. Well, you buy a hat like this, I'll bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh? Oh, it looks good on you, though. Hey, Whitey, where's your hat?
Oh, it looks good on you, though. Caddyshack. Excellente. Bloody hell. Back to the Future.
But Dr. Brown is about to change all that.
Are you telling me you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
He's sending Marty 30 years back in time.
It works! It's a flying saucer from outer space!
Now, he's trapped in the past.
It's gotta be a dream.
About to meet
Chocolate.
his future father.
He's a peeping Tom.
1985.
Be great.
I've got the DeLorean parked outside.
Is Doc in it?
No.
No, it's Jennifer from part 2 when she's knocked out for the whole film.
Oh my god.
No fate but what we make ourselves.
No fate. No fate but what we make.
Different film.
Well, certainly, pretty much every studio thought it would suck. And just purely because of if you think about it, in isolation, if you were to read that script with zero context or just zero inclination of what it could be, it wouldn't really strike you as this family-friendly, nostalgic classic, would you? If because of the incest, that's why
you can't beat the incest part of this film. You cannot step around it. You can't circumvent it. Do we remember our first time with Back to the Future?
I think for me, it was always I don't remember owning it on DVD, which is my parents' fault. But I remember that it was always the one that was on TV, on the weekends or whatever.
Too,
so
yeah,
and it took me, when I was a lot younger, just visually like piecing together like, oh, between watching that one and the second one, because they are so visually similar in terms of, you know, the sets and everything, to a while to like recollect, oh, you know, I like the one where this happens, but not the one where like it's the dance but then there's two Martys. Like I like the first one, and then I pieced together that everything I liked was in fact the first one in isolation.
I had the trilogy on videotape back in the good old days. And I remember for a school talent show, it must have been like year 4, I decided to sing Mr. Sandman. And so instead of looking up the lyrics, I like rigorously watched that scene and stopped and started it and tried to write down what they were singing rather than just asking someone, what are the words? So it took me all day rewinding that one scene in Back to the Future.
Let's just go down this soundtrack.
Oh.
Power of Love, Huey Lewis and the News. Back in Time, Huey Lewis and the News. Heaven is One Step Away, Eric Clapton and Phil Collins. Time Bomb Town, Lindsey Buckingham. Mr. Sandman by Pat Ballard. Night Train, performed by Marvin Berry and the Starlighters. Earth Angel. Johnny B. Good. And Johnny B. Good. What's the best track on that soundtrack?
Power of Love.
Yeah.
I've really gotten into Back in Time over this past week, rewatching it.
I went through that like a year ago. Like Power of Love was literally like the ultimate, but then I was like, oh yeah, and then it like crept into like more and more. I'd listen to it, but no, like, yeah.
I'm a doctor.
Like
Let's just talk about Huey Lewis. Huey Lewis, what a man. Do we all know the big fact about Huey Lewis?
Yes.
I was surprised. I never realised.
One of the famously largest penises in the music industry. No, Huey Lewis is great. What's the better Huey Lewis in a film? Is it this, or is it... Do you like Huey Lewis in the News? The American Psycho killing of...
That is a very good scene. I'm not sure.
Or is it the Funny or Die sketch where Huey Lewis recreates American Psycho, talking about American Psycho, and he kills Weird Al?
I've not seen that.
And he takes a pill, and what does the pill say? New drug. Are we not diehard Huey Lewis fans? Do we not like New Drug?
No. I'm literally a sucker for Earth Angel. Like that scene, like, oh my god. Yeah.
Well,
but then it just, yeah, like Johnny Be Good for me is like just a little something extra, but Earth Angel for me is like the completion.
That's a nice segue into best 10-minute stretch, because I've got, without a shadow of a doubt, Earth Angel, Johnny Be Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
The bit where the Earth Angel swells and they kiss,
and just that,
flawless.
Oh my god. Earth Angel and Johnny Be Good, but if it fit in the 10 minutes, then obviously the bit before that is when George comes to Elaine's rescue.
Take your hand.
But then, because that, yeah, like obviously that's the bit that just like starts it. Well, that's his, you know, arc completed. But then everything else that follows is just, yeah, it's, oh my god, like the more
it's a great film. That final 40 from the prom just all the way to the end is unassailable. You cannot beat it. The pace never lessens. The humour in points never lessens. Only for tension. Every time you're stupid and you're a fool, but every time, are they gonna get it? you know full well. But it does that brilliant thing of great stuff. Great film. Tom's weirdly specific favourite part of the film. The kiss when at the end of Power of Love, where they kiss and the music's been faded, but then they kiss and then it's the power of love. That's,
That's actually alarming because, yeah.
That's
Same.
yours?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, no, I've got 4 more. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, if my calculations are correct, you're going to see some serious shit. The way he delivers it, or it's vaguely mumbled.
I think he's fantastic in Addams Family Values.
Well, there we go.
Gomez told me, no giggling.
No giggling.
What a film.
Oh, no, I know what I want to cut to. Is it string?
What is it? Is it string?
You never know.
Oh, what a man.
What a wonderful film. Exchange at the diner with Mr. Carruthers at the diner. The whole I'll have a tab. You can't have a tab if you don't pay. Ask for something. I'll have a Pepsi free. If you want a Pepsi, you're going to pay for it. That back and forth, top notch. Can't beat it. That car cost me $300. I'm going to take it out your ass. I mean, I know it's supposed to sound threatening. Is he going to... What? I'm going to take it out your ass.
How does he get it in there in the first place?
Is he going to prison? Is he hidden money? Like Andy does in the book. I've reread the short story of Shawshank, and there's a whole paragraph where Red goes, Andy was a man of means. He had a lot of money, and you can get a lot of money into a prison if you'd like. Sometimes you got to go deeper, though. It's a whole weird stretch, just like Andy had to. That was a stretch too.
I really like when he's first in 55 and he's walking through the square, and it's the Sandman plays, of course. Yes, Sandman. My song. And then in the bar when Biff comes along and it's like, hello, I love all of that. This might be another 10-minute stretch, and then the car chase and with the skateboard.
Yeah. I've cheated.
I hate manure. It's wonderful.
I've cheated and put skate chase in single as an option for single minute, even though it's not a single minute at all. Ava? Oh, sorry. Well, finish.
Oh no, I just said.
Well, I mean, Ava.
The thing, even though you could extend it's not just a single minute, but the thing that I knew was other than the 10-minute stretch was like, I'm literally a sucker for the opening from I'm Late for School and just the start of Power of Love and the whole like literally that whole sequence, pretty much like until he meets Jennifer at the school, which is probably over a minute, but that for me is
it's one of the great needle drops.
I think the one that I quote the most is definitely there's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there something wrong with the Earth's gravitational pull? That for me is pretty great. On a lesser extent, like when I was reading through them and rewatching, like I love rock and roll in the opening, and then also I think a kind of underrated funny line is Jesus George, it's a wonder I was even born, when he's outside when his dad's just being completely inept. Yeah,
this is true. William?
I think top 3 for me, you've got I Hate Manure, wonderfully delivered in all 3 movies. We've got Chuck, it's Marvin, your cousin, Marvin Berry. It's wonderful.
Oh yeah,
here's the new sound you're looking for. And then he makes that face and he goes,
listen to this.
It's wonderful. And then I think my favourite line is, Marty, you sound familiar to me. Do I know your mother? It's the delivery. Yeah, I think maybe it's. Oh, that whole dinner table scene is the comic timing is brilliant.
That kid's great. The kid with the beaver hat.
It's like when he's like, get used to these bars, kid. Like, it's pretty great. The beaver kid, the whole as he will now be known.
Well, yeah. You have 2 TVs? What's a rerun? I think he does a great job.
Who the hell is John F. Kennedy? Oh my god. How did I forget that?
Oh. How did they?
Man.
Yeah. Good stuff. I'm going, yeah, it's your cousin Marvin Berry. I also like Huey's cameo. I'm afraid you're just too darn loud. Great stuff. Do you know what Robert Zemeckis' favourite line in the film is?
What?
It's weird. When I kiss you, it's like I'm kissing my brother. That's his favourite line in the film.
The Libyans! Love that. I quote that.
Maybe that's the change.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need to change them from being Libyan. I'd just get rid of that towel.
Or not or also you wouldn't change it, but it's interesting how there's no explanation or anything as to why a 17-year-old high school student is friends with an old man doctor. You know, like, you've been hanging.
There is not a single, not even a lazy line of like, hey, do you remember that time when I crashed my car in your garage? There's not even like the cheapest, quickest
or when the principal is like, oh, have you been hanging out with that weirdo Dr. Brown again? Like, stay away from him, he's crazy. But like, so the whole town knows he hangs out with this like old guy? Like, but yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful relationship duo.
I want to see a psychological thriller where he's befriended this child. I don't know where it would go from there, but I'm sure there's something in there.
Biff, the character Biff in general.
Thomas F. Wilson.
Good old Tom. I think Biff might be my favourite character, as like in all 3 movies. Mm-hmm. I am Marty, but Biff just has the best lines, and he does it so well. It's over the top, but it works. It works so well. I love just a little say hi to your mum from me. All the little the hello, think big fly. It's just yes.
Well, because I've literally, like been in love with Marty McFly for years. I'm just trying to think if I take that away, if the character on its own does substantiate, being the best character and beating out all of the others. But like, I really think he does. And watching the bonus features, I think it may have been what you sent the other day in the chat, but the featurette on, how they made it and the casting and everything. But it really is like a testament to like Michael J. Fox's just sheer charisma and Martiness, like, besides the fact that they had already cast someone and were in 5 weeks of shooting and then realized, no, the movie itself does not exist without Michael J. Fox.
Let's talk about Eric Stoltz. Oh, I've got half of the fun facts are weird stories about the Eric Stoltz days.
Apparently, there's still Stoltz like bits that are still in the movie. There's one remaining shot. It's when they go into the diner and he's hiding his face and he goes like this, and they kept that because obviously you can't see Michael J. Fox. It's Stoltzy. Eric Stoltz. Wow.
R.I.P.
When did he die?
No, I just meant the role of Marty.
His career. Yeah. Imagine, yeah. Well, the famous story is that obviously they announced it on the set and said, we've got some good news and some bad news. The bad news is we've had to let Eric go. And then just a random camera guy said, that's the bad news.
Apparently he was all right. He was all right. Well, he was method, wasn't he? And he insisted on everyone calling him Marty. And he would... It's just that those people are not nice to work with. I like... It's not a specific one, but I like how it sets up the whole story of his parents getting together. And then how you're seeing all those events play out with, like, he's a peeping Tom, and like all of the.
I know. I like Crispin Glover. Like, is just pretty great.
I think he's the unsung hero of the film.
He's not in the second one, is he?
No, and then
they just have some weird upside down guy in their like weird kitchen that is clearly not
as
Crispin
a
Glover.
lookalike, and then Crispin Glover sued them for his likeness because they never contacted.
Did he win?
Yeah, I believe so. You can't just steal somebody's likeness.
Face off.
Yeah, I think him and Leah Thompson are the unsung heroes of this film. The modern day stuff, well, modern, but the present day stuff and their transformation. I do.
Yeah, getting those two ages correctly, and very good.
It's excellent stuff. Right, Tom's notes. Pardon me. The boring side of the opening shot. They had to set all those clocks, and that took hours. I was going to say ironically, but it doesn't make any sense. Just because two things have time. Anyway, the dog can, they practiced with one dog food, but then the dog food that they got given as product placement didn't drop out of the can. So they had to heat the can up, and that's why it comes out so sloppy and droopy. It's not as visually satisfying as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Those two cans. Oh,
what a great
That's not good advertising, though, is it? If you want to advertise your dog food, and it just
slopping out. Yeah. Marty leching at those women in front of Jennifer. Don't like that at all. I know he's the coolest guy in the world or whatever, but you don't do that, and not even subtly at all.
I know, it's like a full 180. Like,
and then she's just like,
oh, Marty.
I guess like she's oozing confidence. I mean, she looks terrific and she seems a great girl. But Claudia Wells. But what? You can't just do. Yeah. Clock woman shoving the can. Very aggressive.
Crazy clock woman.
Very aggressive when it comes to. Yeah. Very very aggressive. You mutated son of a bitch.
I'd like to throw in another best line. It's just the delivery of the Mayor.
Oh. I was like, what?
But also, he doesn't change that. He doesn't. That's not something Marty changes because he's already going to be mayor.
Yeah, but he didn't know it at that time.
He inspires him. He creates the mayor.
No, because then we go. That's the only one. The only foreshadow for me that doesn't make. I don't know. I think you need to have. Oh no, because then he's not going to say, "Yeah, you're going to be mayor." So he's not going to say that.
Mayor.
A coloured mayor. That'll be the day. Good old Mr. Carruthers. It's one line. Marty just rips a page out of the yellow pages. And then he's holding it in front of the guy. Why does the angry Mr. Carruthers not go, "Hey, that's my yellow page"? Here we go. Everybody's favourite segment. Zane! In Zane in the Membrane. Billy Zane is in this film. What's the best Billy Zane cameo? Is it this?
Or Zoolander?
It's Zoolander.
It's a walk-off.
It's Zoolander.
Put a cork in it, Zane.
On the old prairie, where the coyotes howl and the wind blows free, in a narrow grave, 6x3.
Put a cork in it, Zane.
Holmes and Watson. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. Movie? Did you?
Was it? No, I'm not admitting to that. I'm not.
Who does he cameo as?
There she goes, Auntie Chef. Ja. Watson, sehen Sie nur. Da ist Billy Zane.
Sherlock?
Wow, ist umwerfend.
Wo ist die Bar auf diesem Kanu?
Yeah. Oh, we love Billy
Yeah.
Zane.
I think another thing is, how has Christopher Lloyd seemed to appear the same elderly age for the past 40 years?
He was born a 60-year-old man.
Yeah, I'm literally like, when was this man born? Because I remember in 2015, when obviously, it was the 21st of October, and it was on Jimmy Kimmel, and they had the DeLorean, and Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd were inside it as if they'd, come back to that day. And I'm like, with all due respect, I thought he was an old man in 1985. So how is he still here?
Yeah, it looks old in Taxi. His first job. Yeah, good stuff. We love Christopher Lloyd.
Mm.
We're a bit.
It would be different if there was a cop. It's not as if we saw a cop see Biff in the car with Elaine, and the cop was like, "Oh, okay, carry on."
Who's Elaine?
No.
Lorraine.
Oh, shit.
Elaine.
Yeah.
Elaine.
Yeah.
Where's that guy? What's he doing? Take care of him. He's too late.
Elaine. Ben. Oh, it's brilliant. It's too late. It's too late. Not for me.
Hey, it's too late. Not for me.
Not to, bring up a notorious sex criminal, but does Biff realise that he's dressed like Jimmy Savile in that final scene, and he's got the exact same haircut?
Oh yeah.
He's got.
I don't think he realised, either Biff or the costume designer was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna dress like Jimmy Savile."
What if they did? What if he was like?
It was all intentional.
I got this. I've been researching this '70s. This British comedian. I love Happy Biff when he's like, "Oh hi Marty."
Oh hi Marty. Here's your key. Yeah.
I got your book. What's the book called?
Something in space.
The Time Machine.
No, it's
Match Made in Space.
Yeah.
Does George think that Marty's the dad? Does George think that
of his child?
Of his child, because does George think maybe Lorraine caught up with Marty again and they had a couple of flings in, a motel room? Because
definitely,
because he looks around the fact that
he looks a bit like him.
Same boy.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. How after all of this, after the change, when they finally go back, at the end, and you see how Marty's, his family and everything has shifted. Why is Marty the only one who's constant? Why hasn't he changed? Either physically or and how his siblings and his parents, not their brains, but their mentality have changed because they have now led this entirely different life. How is Marty the only one who doesn't go unchanged? And he sees it all being like, what is this house? Who are all of you?
Dean Cundy, the guy who did the cinematography for this, also did the cinematography for Halloween 1978.
What a film.
Incredible film. Jurassic Park, lots of other films. Do you know what he's done recently?
An Avengers movie.
Jack and Jill.
Al Pacino's best cameo.
Say hello to my chocolate blend.
This whole trial is out of sight. They put me back in with hazelnut too. Caramel swirl, I know it was you. Everyone wants my Dunkachino. Can't get enough of my Dunkachino. Kids from 7 to 17 lining up for my Dunkachino.
The script was rejected how many times before it was greenlit?
44.
15.
You've got the same sheet up, haven't you?
No.
Apparently, Ronald Reagan was amused by Doc Brown's disbelief that an actor like him could become president. So much so that he had the projectionist stop and replay the scene. He also seemed to enjoy it so much that he even made a direct reference to the film in his 1986 State of the Union address. As they said in the film Back to the Future, where we're going, we don't need roads. Christopher Lloyd stated that he always wanted to do one more movie. Where they travelled where?
I'm guessing very far into the past. Dinosaurs?
Ancient Rome.
Ooh, what, in the train? In the steampunk train?
Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Clara!
Crispin Glover claimed to have seen the film only once, shortly after its release. In contrast, Christopher Lloyd stated that when he occasionally stumbles across the film, he would often sit and watch it. Eric Stoltz insisted that the cast and crew address him as Marty. He would also wear Marty's wardrobe while travelling to and from the set each day. According to Thomas F. Wilson, the only time that method acting Stoltz would break character was when Eric would actively flirt with Leah Thompson in between takes.
Oh my
Eric.
god.
Stoltz, you dog. Is this the best Robert Zemeckis movie? Let's go through them.
Polar Express is up there for me.
Oh my.
I love Polar Express. It's my favourite Christmas movie of all time.
Oh.
But Back to the Future
I was
wins, but...
talking about Death Becomes Her, or What Lies Beneath, or Forrest Gump, or Castaway. Not bloody Polar Express. I like Beowulf. What Lies Beneath is great. Death Becomes Her is great. He's a great director. He's a sneaky. He's a sneaky.
What lies? Is that the one with Michelle Pfeiffer in the bath?
Yeah. Don't say anything. Don't say anything else. She hasn't seen it.
Yeah, it's. You can argue. Well, they do decline in value, but that doesn't mean that the third one's bad. They're still all fantastic movies. But we just got Clara, which just ruins it. I'm sorry. We'll have this argument again when we do.
Mary Steenburgen. Don't begrudge Mary Steenburgen. Who's Mary Steenburgen's famous husband?
I don't know.
Ted Danson. Roads. Where we're going.
Oh,
Need roads.
I'd put that in the top 10 of all time.
It's pretty good.
Maybe even top 5. That's that iconic.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Ava, have you got what's coming to your head right now as top final lines ever? And where does Roads fit into that?
I wasn't thinking of other lines. I was just relishing in that line because it's true.
I think Beautiful Friendship is up there.
Yeah. Well, I have my top 5. 3 Billy Wilders and 2 80s comedies to do, and so the Billy Wilders are obviously Sunset Boulevard, and now Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Some Like It Hot. Well, Nobody's Perfect.
Oh.
I can never have children. We can adopt some. But you don't understand, Osgood. I'm a man. Well, nobody's perfect.
And The Apartment. Shut up and deal.
Cut.
I love you, Miss Kubelik.
3. Queen.
Did you hear what I said, Miss Kubelik? I absolutely adore you.
Shut up and deal.
And then I like Clue. I'm gonna go home and have sex with my wife.
Okay, Chief, take him away. I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Caddyshack. Hey, we're all gonna get laid.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
Great stuff. Great lines.
Oh.
That's good.
Oh. Yeah.
That's a better
you
after
can-
credits than Ferris
Oh my
Bueller.
god. That is the best after credits. Period.
Chuck Norris. And that's how we're going to end it. And that's how we're going to end the episode, on that scene. So thank you very much, Ava. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Oh, it's all right. And thank you, Vil.
Thank you, Tom.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And cut to Dodgeball.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I can teach you, but I'd have to charge.
Dabba 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 da da ba 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 ba.